you, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to go right into an activation. I want to start with, I'm going to take you guys deep into the meditation. I'm going to take you outside the space-time continuum, outside the free will zone, so that we can release anything that no longer serves you. We're going to set this up, okay? So everybody wants to close their eyes. There's a lot of energy already here. And I do toning, so you might hear some pretty loud sounds. So just begin to let go. Take some nice deep breaths and just let go. With every breath, just allow yourself to let go more. I'm going to begin to expand you 360 degrees. And as we begin to expand, I'm going to call forth the highest and most profound healing miracles take place in this now divine moment according to divine law and order. Allow you to begin to release all that no longer serves you. Just imagining little particles just floating outside of your field. Breathing and allowing. So I'm going to continue to expand you. Breathing and allowing. I'm going to continue to expand you. I'm taking you out past the space-time continuum, past the free will zone. So we're going to continue to expand so that all that no longer serves you can instantaneously be released. I'm going to disconnect the mind. Allowing. Beautiful. Take some nice deep breaths. I'm just going to bring you guys back into your heart now. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. And keep you in this space. So welcome. You guys are amazing creator beings. We are amazing creator beings. We are all God consciousness in physical form. Everything about you is God consciousness. There isn't one aspect of you that isn't God consciousness. When we start out in this world, in the physical body, we actually come in with this awareness, and shortly into our development, because of who we're told we are, we begin to align ourselves to these belief systems. These belief systems begin to create an actual matrix of frequency and energy within the constructs of your mind that also align within the constructs of your cellular body. I refer to this as the mind matrix. And what it literally is it's made up of these pentagonal shaped boxes. And they're little pentagons, very specifically, because it's a closed grid container. So imagine that you're a child, and you're a little girl, and you're told what it means to be a boy or a girl or so on. And so these more rigid belief systems of who you are now start to create sort of the edges of these boxes. And then the more that you accumulate them, the more dense these boxes become within your mind. So what begins to happen is, we are consciousness. And this is different from the conscious mind. So consciousness is information. We are information of source. So we're basically like this giant library of information of source. And the design of the human body is that you take this giant consciousness, which is basically the software, and you download it into the brain, which is the hardware, and it begins to communicate to the body, and then it creates outward. And the actual creative process is you have a thought, and your thought comes out of your head and creates a geometric shape. And when you hold that thought more than 14 seconds, and whatever emotion you give the thought is the fuel to it, it goes into your heart, into a unified field, and it communicates and comes out into the physical world, into a reality. So who we are and how we think is what we create, right? So this is the design. But because of this mind matrix, what we're doing is, instead of taking this giant consciousness that's you and downloading it, what we're doing is we're taking this giant consciousness and we're sitting it in these boxes. And these boxes aren't even communicating with each other. And you can think about, and we're sitting in different ones, so you can think about the box like, one is how I create a relationship and the belief systems that are involved in that. The other might be, how I can create money or something, and so they're different. And so what we're doing is we're taking this consciousness that's us, we're sitting in these boxes, and we're listening to a book being read to us, which is the collective belief about what you can and can't do. And then we're taking that information and we're dialoguing it to our body, and we're using it to create. This is what we're doing, right? Which is limited. And these boxes that I'm referring to, like in your mind, are also dialoguing to the body. This is why we have disease, we have patterns, we have different things that are going on in our body that stay that way, because you're still in those parameters of these kind of boxes, right? So how do we get out of there? What do we do? Well, what we need to do is we need to get to what's referred to as 0 point, which is the now moment without judgment. It's the only actual time, is the infinite now moment. Because with the belief systems, we're always either in the past or in the future. It's always, we're creating from already given possibilities. So we're never creating. So we are conscious creators, but we're not creating. What are we doing? We're following rules, right? Okay. So here's the magic. I always say this is like super easy and super hard at the same time. So the magic is, all you have to do is let go. Just let go of what isn't you, and what is you shows up. So here's a little bit about what's happening. So this idea of the ascension process, the body is ascending, we are not ascending. Okay, we are fifth dimensional or higher beings. We've engaged in a third dimensional body. The body is vibrating at all of these frequencies of these belief systems. So these boxes are frequencies. They've created belief systems that the body is vibrating, and they're a denser frequency. You as consciousness are a very high frequency. So the more that you engage your consciousness in this body, it's kind of like pushing out these belief systems from you. But there's a couple things going on with this that's important. So by nature, what we're doing in human, all we're doing is matching frequencies in order to be comfortable. That's it, because we're frequency. Consciousness is frequency, it's energy, right? Something moving. So all we're doing to be comfortable is matching frequencies, period. So the idea of matching frequencies, in a simplistic idea, is think about it in terms of emotions. And really all we're here is for emotional experiences, but let's just give this example. So by universal law, faster frequencies always try to raise slower ones up. It's just the way it works, okay? So if you and I come around each other and say I'm happy and you're mad, what's going to happen is my happy is going to give your mad a bump because it's going to try to raise it up, right? So I'm going to irritate you. And so as long as I maintain my happy, you only have two choices, right? You either meet me at happy, because it's about matching, or you go away, right? And how many times have we been around people that you're happy and they're mad and they're not happy till you're mad, yeah. Right? And it's about matching. Okay, so now let's get back to the ascension process. So here we are, we're this, very fast-moving frequency, and we're engaging in our own body. Our body is vibrating at a denser rate. So we're going to irritate our own body as we are coming in. And this is really important, right? Because everybody thinks it's like blissful, but it's like, the hell is going on? Right? We got all this stuff going on. So a couple of things important about that. That's why we talk about that divine 0 point, right? If we get in the now, and all we're doing is bring ourselves in, then this stuff is just coming out. And the idea is not to embody it, because it's not me. It's belief systems of the collective. It's stuff we've been told. It's not who I am, right? So if I don't engage it, if I don't embody it, I'm simply aware of it, then I can be curious. Oh, that's interesting. Now we can't always do that, right? Because some of this is related to our own life experiences, right? So we're like, oh, I need to process this. But just having that awareness that as I'm coming in, right, and I'm vibrating at a faster rate as I'm processing, and I'm going to irritate. But the more that we can surrender, the surrender is easy, just taking breaths and letting go. And what you're literally doing is you're expanding your light. Let's talk about that for a second. So the difference between light and dark is light is information, dark is absent of information. So you're basically just simply adding more information of you to yourself. You're adding your light.
Repeat that. Sorry.
Light is information, dark is an absence of information. It's as simple as that. So you're just simply adding your light, right, to your body. So as we continue to engage our light, as we continue to let go, to breathe, to be just present, and you can do simple things at first. Feet on the floor, I feel my feet on the floor. I wrote a small book. It's called The Pocket Guide to Presence. And in it, some little techniques about getting and staying present, just simple things like waking up in the morning, you feel your sheets, you begin to ask yourself, like, why did I pick this color? What do they feel like, right? As your brain takes off, you come back. So you practice this, like, awareness, right? Being in the now. And letting go and releasing judgment, because that's a huge piece. Without judgment, right? Without judgment, because why would I have any judgment? It's just me and it's now. In the now, there is no judgment. It doesn't exist because it's brand new. Brand new, all the time. There's no judgment. It just is. Right? How beautiful, what you guys are all feeling right now, because I'm bringing you into the 0 point. It's like right there. Okay. So we're engaging now more of ourself into the body. As we're doing that, we're expanding more of our light, but a couple of things are going to go on there. First of all, you might have some of your life stories coming up. So again, the idea is remind yourself, wait, I'm this adult, I'm in this body, I'm right here, I'm not this young age, so I have tools now. It's okay, I don't have to embody that. I can recognize that wants to play out. So the idea is not to grab it, control it, try to change it into something else, because this is what we're taught, right? Oh, I'm feeling anxious, I got to feel relaxed. No, you can just have anxiousness over here and be in the now and just let that go and be like, oh, well, but I don't know maybe what relaxed feels like yet. So I'm just going to be and try to have that experience, right? I'm not going to try to change it, because if I try to change it, the thing is, when we start out in life and we're told these belief systems, we're indoctrinated with the frequency of fear. That's the beginning, that's the base frequency. So if I am trying to fix something, first of all, I'm in fear because I'm never broken, it doesn't exist, right? It's just brand new. And then if I'm trying to move from one energy to another and I'm staying in that frequency, if I'm anxious and I got to get out of it, and I just pull myself out, you know, but I don't pause in between, then I'm still in the frequency of fear. It's just a little variance of it. So this is, again, kind of a game we're playing. So I'm still in that kind of identification as whoever I'm told. I haven't been in the zero and figure out who I am. Okay, hopefully this makes sense. So as we're engaging more of our light in the body, and as we are letting go and just allowing, it's all about allowing, right? My crap's coming up. Here it is, dialoguing, boop, 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 you know. And instead of going, I gotta change it, just breathe, let go, and go, nah, just let it do its thing, and I'm gonna have an experience. Because the thing is, we haven't had an actual experience. I don't know. So we can say, I don't know. It's okay to be, I don't know, right? So as this is happening, and as this energy, you're engaging more, now these other energies are coming out, okay? So you have to imagine everything is a frequency. Everything. And this matching that we're talking about, you're doing on all levels. So your clothes match your frequency. Your, the chair, anything in your house, anything, your people, everything's matching frequencies. Okay, so now as I'm engaging more of me, and these frequencies are sort of coming out and they've been matching, now they're going to start to show you, right? You're going to feel things. You're going to start to feel the energy that you've been carrying around. Again, not to embody it. Breathe, allow. So maybe things start to change, like, you know what? I really don't like that color, or I really don't like that. Or relationships, not working, right? But there's no judgment because it just simply is. You're just having an awareness, like, oh, I didn't even realize I was matching that, and that's not me, right? Again, curiosity, being that really childlike, innocent, kind of curious, like, that's interesting. I never noticed what that felt like, okay? So that's part of it in your environment. The other part is, as these things are coming out, they're going to be looking for a match, okay? So guess what? If your environment is vibrating at a current rate, like say you're depressed or you're anxious or whatever all the time, wherever your energy is, and as you're beginning to embody, and all your environment's vibrating at that rate, and all the people around you, well, they're going to be triggered by you, right? They're going to be like, oh my God, right? So again, not to embody it, to just realize that it's sort of radiating out of you, and as these frequencies are moving away, and as you are embodying more of your own light, okay, that you're coming into, then, it's going to begin to level out more for you. Okay? But this is super important because we don't know what's happening. It's like, I'm just light, I'm innocent, and everybody else is like, what the hell's going on with you? Right? Completely irritated. And then it begins to come back in, right? God's calling. It's all right, we'll let that move. We'll let the energy move. It's all good. Talk about energies and frequencies. So, with everything going on right now, right, in the world, it seems difficult to stay, in this light energy. However, we are that. Okay? So if you can just keep reminding yourself, I am God. I am sovereign, I am free. Sovereignty means I'm self-governed internally. It means I'm the only one that can tell me how I feel. And here's the thing about this too. So, you may have your physical life expression might be something like, I have no idea where my money's coming from, okay? That may be what you feel is a literal in your life. but you have a choice about how you're going to react to that and how you feel about it. So the difference is if you can go, yep, I have no idea, but okay, I have no idea. I'm gonna let go. The reason why this is so profound and so important is because, and there's two steps to this. So kind of the first letting go that tends to happen is what I call as a false neutrality. If you start to follow my work, you'll see I use a lot of false. I release a lot of false frequencies. I do a lot of things like that because we're not guided to be into this 0 point. Because the 0 point is, it's not the no thing, it is the no thing and all possibilities. When you are in an authentic 0 point, you are one with all. You are your multidimensional self. You are completely embodied in that. But what humanity does is the first sort of what you think is neutral is like a false neutrality where we let go, and you might say, oh, yeah, I have no idea where my money's coming from. You go, oh, yeah, I don't. But then you're in that nothing, that hopelessness, that like, oh, I have no idea. Okay, that's not the 0 point. That's not the surrender point. There's a point past that. Past that, it's like, oh, you're right, I don't know. Okay. You didn't know me before you knew me. We don't know until we know. There's a book, one of these days I'm going to write this book that's called You Don't Know What You Know Till You Know What You Know. Right? Yeah. There you go. Right? Exactly. So, I said earlier, this is really easy and really hard at the same time, is because the simple part of this is, if we simply disengage, if we let go, and disengaging is just breathing and letting go. It's really that simple. If we allow ourselves to absolutely have an experience in that very childlike way, it's like brand new first time, woohoo, I'm excited, what's going to happen? You know, and just allow that. And as the mind, blah, 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 that's that mind matrix. So as we just let it go, it's breaking up those pentagonal boxes. That's what it's doing. As we allow it to just go, we just allow it to play out. And I just get very, centered, very excited as I'm just, having this now moment experience. So I'm continuing to do that. If we were to actually, as a collective, disengage, none of this would exist because we are the creator beings, okay? This energy, there is an energy that's playing out, right, in the collective, assuming everybody here pretty much knows that. And this energy does not create, we create. So we've been guided down these pathways to continue to create these frequencies and energies. And the major frequencies that we are creating for this collective are enslavement or imprisonment and sacrifice. These are the two major frequencies, I guess enslavement and sacrifice, that we are playing out over and over again. They're in all the systems that you see right now, the monetary systems, the educational systems, even the way that we engage in relationships, the way we engage in our body, sacrifice health for money, we're doing it all the time. What if we didn't? We just didn't. Because we're creators. This is how magical. You guys are so amazing. You don't even understand to the degree, or maybe you do. But it's like literally, if we just could let go and expand our light and disengage, it would not exist. Because the reality of us as creator beings is, what I see, I believe, and what I believe, I see. It's 100%. And that this body is everything. This is the millionaire. This is the relationship. This is everything, everything. Because I'm consciousness having a physical experience. I'm engaging in this body, and this body is what's creating. All of the frequencies and energies is radiating, matching, creating. It's creating the physicality that you see. Everything, right? So this is the magic. The magic is really that simple. Disengage, right? And then it no longer exists. I have no idea what time it is.
10:15.
Okay. Oh, we got plenty of time. So, how I work, who I am, is I have incarnated as what I refer to as a frequency alchemist. I carry the 0 point of all frequencies. So I'm not just arbitrarily talking to you. There is an alignment happening with each one of you into a 0 point that's happening now. Okay? And I'm going to take you, what we're going to do in a few minutes is I'm going to take you kind of back out to why I took you past the space-time continuum and past the free will zone is because I'm taking you outside of the parameters of this false matrix. Because everything that you see is basically a video game. And we are the characters, but we're not. We are the ones engaging in the characters, but we often think we are the character in the game, right? So this is what's going on in the bigger collective. But if I take you outside of that, then you can instantaneously release all those frequencies that are not you. And what I want to do actually is I'm going to take you out and bring in this, it's a sphere of all possibilities, and we're going to bring in a future self. And we're going to be able to dialogue and look at a future self and possibly even become the future self, if you're choosing to. And we're going to bring in all those energies and frequencies. I already feel that. It's like, whoo,
Yeah.
right? Feel it come in. Yeah, absolutely. Because you are amazing creator beings. And here's the other thing I really want to emphasize. You know, I'm you, you're me, we're one. Okay, we're one. And it's an illusion to think that you, in your own little being, can't like move mountains. You can create worlds because you're not just you. Okay, so being in the 0 point is super powerful, right? What we're doing, it's amazing. You guys are amazing creative beings. So we're just going to, bring that energy in and just really begin to create what we desire and disengage from all that does not serve you. The more that we disengage, it does not exist. Remember that. We are the creator beings. We're creating this. Nothing is doing anything to you. You are not victims. We're going to release all victim-victimizer frequencies, all fight-or-flight frequencies, all inorganic frequencies. We're doing it as I'm speaking. We're going to release any MK Ultra mind control, any implants, any holographic insertions, consciousness traps, reversal programs, timeline reversal loops, all being released. All right. Whew. Let's do an activation now, and let's bring in our future selves, right? What I want you guys to do as I'm starting to step in, I want you to, as I'm disengaging your mind, so don't worry if you have no mind, that's a good thing. We're just going to disengage that because it's all through the mind that this energy's been done. But I want you to start to imagine. The thing is, your imagination is everything. I think it was Matthew was talking about that we've been duped into not understanding and not knowing who we really are. And your imagination is creating. It is absolutely creating, okay? And I tapped in just for a second about the creative process. I want to emphasize a little bit more about that. So quite literally, the creative process of us is you have a thought. The thought, so the masculine mental aspect of creation, we have the masculine and the feminine. So the masculine mental is the blueprint of your creation. It's the design of your creation, okay? The spiritual feminine is the creator or the creation itself, okay? So it's basically the fuel, whatever, it's the, of whatever you create, which is why we want balance between the two, okay? So as a creator being, we have a thought. This thought literally comes out of your head as a geometric shape. When you hold that thought 14 seconds, any thought you hold 14 seconds, and the emotion of that thought that you give it is basically the fuel and the creator and the creation you give to it It literally moves inside your heart and inside what's called a unified field. In that field, it creates a match. Then it moves down through the earth, comes back up, and comes out into your reality. So this is the idea is to, it's not so much your thoughts, it is the emotion of your thought that's the most important. What emotions are we giving, right? So if we can get in those beautiful childlike curiosity, if we can have our imagination with excitement, because watch what happens. We have our imagination and it's all tense. It's like, oh, I'm imagining this, but I don't know if I can really do it, and because we're doing it in the limits. This is what's happened, is we have the largest range of emotional frequencies and possibilities of any other planet in this universe. And the resonance frequencies that we're here to experience are love, truth, beauty, and goodness, in all ranges of them. But all we've been experiencing are ranges of fear. Very dense range of emotions that we've been doing, okay? So we don't even know what these other ones, joy and excitement and all these things are, okay? So this is what we want to start to bring forward. And all of these are in this 0 point, right? As we get into that 0 point, and if we can let go and allow ourselves to actually have an experience, and we can be in that very curious, childlike joy, excitement, okay? Through your imagination. So allowing your imagination to be very playful. We're gonna let go of serious. Too much seriousness going on here, people. We need to have some fun. Even though you guys are sleepy, I can tell. We're going to have fun in our sleepy. Okay? All right. Whoosh. There's a lot going on here, people. I need a drink of water. Ooh. Okay. Ooh. Okay. So let's, any questions before I take us into something amazing? More amazing than you're already in? I'm sure you guys are feeling the energy. It's like a lot going on in here now, right? Okay, so let's close your eyes. Take some nice deep breaths. Once you start to imagine from your solar plexus a golden light, it's a beam of light that's coming out of your solar plexus. And there's a big, huge ball of multifaceted white lights that's attaching to it. It's huge, and you can make it as large as you want or as small as you want. This is the sphere of all possibilities. And all the sparkly lights are all the vast possibilities available, and we're expanding this. I'm expanding it, expanding it, expanding it. And it has this beam of golden light running straight through it, and as we begin to see this ball really close to our body with this golden light, and now we're going to begin to move it along this beam, kind of away from you, and we're going to move it towards your future self. Taking a really deep breath. Close this door. Keep breathing and allowing. And as we move this ball towards your future self, we're going to bring your future self right into the center of this ball of all possibilities. Breathing and allowing. I'm going to begin to open up a vision with your future self. It can be a dialogue. It can be visual sounds. Just opening it up now for however you choose to communicate. Some of you have your future self backwards, not facing you. I'm going to turn them around. So they begin to look, there we go, right at you. Take a deep breath. We're going to ask our future self, they have something that they want to engage. Gratitude, 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 compassion, love. Thank you, thank you. So we're opening this up wider. We're going to bring a very high frequency white light from the solar plexus of your future self, engaging now into this golden light within your own body. So we're beginning to bring in the codes, the geometries that your future self are engaging with you in a calibration of who you are, in a greater embodiment of the I am that, as it begins to engage in your entire central peripheral nervous system now, in your entire body, with exuberance, excitement, exhilaration. Wow. And now we begin to imagine a beam of light coming from the third eye of your future self into your third eye now. Bringing in awareness of your divine plan, of the I am presence of who you are, with so much gratitude for who you are now, for showing up, for being here, for being the amazing you are. Your future self is so grateful, thankful. For those of you who feel ready, now allowing for you to step into the embodiment of your future self with tremendous gratitude, with excitement, exhilaration, exuberance, curiosity. The I am that, or I am you, you are me. We are one. Come into the divine 0 point. As your divine Earth Mother, Sophia Gaia, comes up around you in a beautiful plasmic field of rebirth, holding you, holding your future self, as these codes, as the geometry, the languaging, the communication on all levels, on all bodies, on a conscious, subconscious, and cellular level, all dimensional fields is occurring. The mental, physical, spiritual, emotional bodies, all systems in the body now. It's a recalibration. Simply allowing. As your divine creator, Mother, Father, God comes around you in a plasmic field around your Mother Earth, supporting, holding, recalibrating, remembrance of the I am, that on all levels, conscious, subconscious, wow, all dimensional fields, mental, spiritual, physical, etheric, in your entire body. Simply allowing this recalibration. Breathing and allowing. We're now beginning to bring all of this awareness, recalibration into this divine now moment, breathing and allowing, beginning to bring you back into the body. Just imagining these energetic roots coming through your legs, through your feet, these very high frequency diamond white light wrapping around the crystalline core of Gaia, like roots of a tree, pulling all this down into this now divine present moment, breathing and allowing. Just still coming down into the body now with all of this calibration. Keep allowing, just coming back into the body. I'm going to spin you back into your heart complex as we're continuing to clear all that this no longer serves you. I'm going to spin through the solar plexus any identification, confusion, and out the root. So it is, and so it is, and so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Taking your time. Coming back when you're ready. Taking your time. Having a drink of water if you have water. Ooh. It's so bright in here. How's everybody feeling? Good. Any questions? You're welcome. That was huge, and I saw many of your future selves step right in. So I think you're going to have like a big opening, It's kind of, should have been a disclaimer in the beginning, but this sort of stuff happens. Where, you'll be skyrocketing off. You guys all look amazing. I can see like a lot of opening, shifting. It's beautiful. I mean, there's like balls of light. Huge ball of light, actually, you guys look like. So I'm going to encourage you to really practice, being in the present moment and using your imagination and allowing yourself to come forward of who you are. It will, you will begin to know why you're here and who you are, and know that your divine purpose, is amazing. Period. And it may be to smile at somebody. So don't underestimate it. We've been duped into thinking things are so complicated and have to be large, and they're not. All of the real simple things are super profound. Right? And how great is that? It frees us up. Like, really, I don't have to go out and, build something amazing. I can just be me. Wow, yeah. Be you, because as you are you, the amazing you, that's the disengaging from everything. That is the most incredible thing that we can do for humanity, is just show up and have fun. Give yourself that permission. We get into that other dialogue that says, oh no, I can't be having fun because other people aren't. But remember, it's a law of one. I'm you, you're me, we're one. So we're going to hold that space. Just keep remembering, we're expanding our light, right? So that's the information. So we're going to allow that information to be engaged because we're consciousness having experience. We hear a lot about quantum entanglement. What quantum entanglement is it's when we forget that we're consciousness. We forget that we're God, that we are this information having an experience. And we become the experience instead. And then we are little. Okay, that's what's the quantum entanglement. So how do we not do that? We have to disengage the victim-victimizer frequencies. The place that says anything can be done to me or I can anything else. No, it's simply an experience, right? We just have an experience. Yeah, it just is. You know? And just simply allow. You know? And really always engage. Be curious with yourself. When something occurs, what's going on? I always say, Cathleena, what's happening? What do you need? I'd be like, I love you. I love you. You know, and you can really I do. I mean, I'm like, I love this body. Think about what this body, the body is your engagement, right? With this consciousness. That's how it's occurring. And truthfully, you know, we have an unlimited ability to create within the body. As consciousness, the other thing, as creator beings, we have these kind of containers in which we can create in a physicality, create physicality. The first is the human template. I refer to it as a template because there's many different sort of patterns to this. But it's basically that our consciousness being this information, it needs a kind of container in order to create something in the physicality. So think about it like the egg and the sperm. And what consciousness does is that it either expands or contracts. I mean, it expands and exchanges information with other information. So as consciousness, in order to create physicality, this idea of containers, so like the egg and the sperm. So the egg is information, the sperm is information. The sperm engages in the egg in a kind of container, and then they exchange information, but they become kind of on top of each other and create a physicality because it has a sort of container. Well, that's what we have as the body. This is our first container that we have an unlimited ability to create within. And the second size is the earth itself. We actually have that. We can create. And how do we do that? When we're at 0 point, when we are at zero, with this body, we have the unlimited ability to create within the body. When we're zero with this and the earth, we have an unlimited ability. And so how do you know when you're there? When you're at the body, right, is that when you're in pure experience of what you know, whatever's going on in the world, you know, and you're in an absolute pure experience. With the earth, when you're at the 0 point, is when you have the awareness that, you know, plants are consciousness and everything is consciousness, versus this kind of illusion of separation. Oh, that's just a tree, or that's a bug, or see, as you become more aware, that's your kind of awareness that I'm at that 0 point. And when you're there, remember your thoughts are the creating and your emotion. So how fantastic. So super, I mean, we got it all right here. We just haven't known it. And it's simple. We don't have to struggle. We don't have to feel those things. And I'm not saying that, you know, we don't go through stuff, but that's why if you work with me, you're going to hear me say it all the time. This is really easy and really hard at the same time. But it really is simple when we can just give ourselves permission. When you can realize that you're in the privacy of your own home and your own head, and you're torturing yourself. And again, it doesn't mean that you stop it. Because I've been there. Look, at night sometimes when I felt embarrassed or shame, and I'm like, I can't seem to get rid of it. But I can honor it, you know. I just let it play out. And I just be in that 0 and let that energy, because like what I say in the early part of this conversation, right? We're engaging more of our light in them, so we're pushing that out, kind of those lower frequencies. So when you don't try to shift it or change it, just let it play out. And then it's like, okay, whatever. All right, well, you guys are amazing beings. If any questions or anything? What'd you say?
If I could make my brain work.
Well, no brain. No, it's all good.
Can you explain the 0 point?
Sure.
I just like, I come out of my
Yeah. Well, what the 0 point is literally, it literally is the frequency of truth. it's the authentic frequency of truth, which is the no thing and the all possibilities. So the way I see the sort of ultimate 0 point is it's just before and just as you were birthed into the dark womb, from source into the dark womb of source. So it's not really a place, right? It's not zero. It's sort of zero and all frequencies at the same time. Does that make sense? And when we are in that experience, that's why it's, when you feel it, when you can truly let go and you feel it, it's exciting. Like when I can just breathe in and absolutely let go, which is not something that we typically do. But when you can actually do that and you feel that, you know, it's very exciting because you're one with all. And once you start to get used to that, like I said, it's not like I'm just neutral in here and my brain's still going. In a reality, it's where you've dropped your thoughts into your heart. Which is another thing I do suggest to people, is to command your thoughts into your heart. I command my thoughts into my heart, command my thoughts into my heart, command my thoughts into my heart. And allow it to come through here, because literally that's what we're looking through is our heart. We don't recognize that, but we are. So yeah, so the zero, it's not zero, right? It's the no thing and all possibilities. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's an exciting place. It's the place of pure experience. It's the place that we, as humanity, are not guided to be in. It's the now moment where you actually have an experience. Because we don't actually have experiences. Right? We're already we've become something. And then whatever we become has an experience. So we're not having the experience, who we have become has an experience. So an example might be, say like when you're really young, and like I said, you start out in life and you really are this multidimensional self, and until, probably about the age of 2, where cognitive awareness, where speech, where you start to understand language, and then you're told. So imagine like you're this little girl, and you're like, running around, and you're doing all these sports stuff, and then somebody comes along and says, that's not what a little girl does, right? So then you suddenly change and you get real stiff, right? And you stiffen up and you become proper whatever you do. And so now when you're going through life, and say you're doing the creative process that I described, so you have a thought and then you have an emotion. So say like you're now this girl who you've become, that's kind of stiffer, right? So say you're looking to create a job. Most likely you're going to create a job that you can do, not one that you really enjoy, because it's going to be more practical, because you've become this stiffer, practical person. And so it's going to follow that energy, right? So that's the idea. When I disengage that's the 0 point. When I'm just whatever. You know what I mean? That's the difference. And that's how those boxes are formed. I was talking about those pentagonal shaped boxes are formed. Like the minute that little girl is told, well, there goes one of the sides of the boxes, or the whole box shows up, right? Think about how often, that's all of us, right? That's what we've been doing. And so we're trying to become something instead of just you, be you. It's well, yes. Well, authentic frequencies have a wave to them, and like fear that we're indoctrinated with is not an authentic frequencies. It is a chaos frequency. So it bounces, which is why it only exists because we chase it. So, imagine like those little like Jewish toys, little dreidel, right, that you spin, and it's perfectly balanced, so it'll spin and spin and spin and spin and spin. That is an authentic frequency, so it's got this nice wavelength to it. But if you took something like that and it was off balance and you went to spin it, it wobbles and it stops. That's fear. And so fear doesn't exist except we keep restarting it. So all you have to do is disengage from it, right? But we're finding it all the time. What if we didn't? That's why I keep saying this is simple, right? When you go, oh, really, that's all I have to do? Yes. It's true. That's quantum entanglement. You're grabbing it, and then you're grabbing other pieces, because this is how we've been guided to do. Because we're energy and frequency, and we've come onto a planet that has all these things here. And at first we're all like, man, we're bringing our light, but then nobody else had the light. Remember, everything's about matching frequencies. Well, if I come in and I'm vibrating at this high rate, there's nothing that matches me. So what am I going to do? That's hard for me to kind of maintain that. So I'm gonna lower mine to find a match somewhere to be comfortable. And that's what we're doing. And that's what this collective has taught us to do, is lower it down and be right here with everybody else. Here's the uniformity. That's why everybody wants that. That's that whole goal, right? Everything's been in that, boxes. So what we're saying is no. And so now that we're all raising our light, now we have an engagement where we can match it. And we're going to continue to match. That's why we're drawn to each other. That's why we're continuing to draw to each other. And we're going to support that, right? So we're supporting this beautiful light for humanity now. So they can figure out, we're having more fun than them, so they want to come in, right? I mean, it's really kind of that simple, right? It's just like expanded. And then we're doing it right now. Feel that? Shh, we just lift it up again. Well, it's beautiful. Well, thank you all for showing up. Yeah, I love you all, every one of you, seriously. Yeah, yeah. We are love. We are God consciousness in form. And I'm excited. And thank you, really. You guys are my soul family, and I'm blessed. All right, well, no questions. I guess we're good to go.